Let's see if in a video of a few minutes I can provide some useful information regarding the use of microphone mixers to regular users. Certainly not to the audio experts who are exempt from watching this video and perhaps even from commenting on it. The adjustments I would like to talk about today are those of gain, the PFL button, and maybe if we have time, the VU meters that are so useful but often underrated. Gain is one of the adjustments, perhaps the main adjustment when it comes to microphone mixers. Not by chance it's here as the first adjustment for each channel. It is in this position also because it is closely related to microphone preamplifiers, that is, to the device, to the extremely important stage responsible for the tone of the mixers. I was saying a very important stage, and then right below the input where we insert our microphones. We know that the mixer is used to mix our various sources, and we know that not all microphones sound the same. There is the one that sounds louder and the one that sounds quieter. It's not a value judgment that one microphone sounds louder or quieter, but we have to take it into account. Let's even consider the example of a stage where there are two identical microphones, but on one microphone Pavarotti sings with his very powerful tenor voice, and the other microphone is used by my aunt, who is a shy lady and holds the microphone far from her mouth. Here the signal from Pavarotti's microphone will probably distort the microphone input assigned to him, while the signal coming from my aunt's microphone will be so low that it will force us to fiddle and gain from thousands of other sources, introducing noise and not making it compatible with its counterparts. This is one of the cases where a correct adjustment of the gauge prevents the differences between my aunt and Pavarotti. But to see how to correctly adjust the gain, we need to take a closer look at the mixer. Let's move. Here we are. Let's suppose we have connected a microphone signal to channel number 1. And obviously, if we raise the volume of channel number 1 and raise the master, we will notice on the VU meters, which are currently indicating the output volume of the master, that is this. We realize that its input signal is there and that the mixer is working, but we still don't know if the input signal is correct, as we said until now. How do we see if this signal is too high or too low? The PFL button helps us exactly in these cases. PFL stands for pre-father level, meaning it shows us how this signal is before the father's intervention. We are at 0, we press the famous PFL, and now the VU meters, as indicated by this very useful little LED, show us how strong this signal is. We immediately notice that it's definitely too high, so we proceed to lower it, but not too little. But the signal must swing around 0. The 0 in B indicated by the VU meters and also shown in the various scales is an extremely important indication, but this is not the case. We know that to properly adjust the mix, the gain of each microphone or line signal must reach 0 and not exceed it too much. Clearly, music is dynamic, so it will never be stationary, fixed around 0, but it definitely shouldn't be like this nor like that. So we make it fluctuate around 0 decibels, turn off the PFL, and at this point we can send our signal to the mixer, to the output bus. We will repeat the same thing for all the channels, and in this way we will strangely notice that probably our mix will have a configuration like this and not like this, as we often tend to see. The input signal will be uniform among them. Not only that, but also the sends to auxiliaries and monitors will not be very different from each other, because the input signal will be managed not only by the output bus but also by all the other stages of the mixer. That's why it's so important to properly adjust the gain at the beginning of each performance. We repeat gain potentiometer PFL to see on the VU meters how the channel is being adjusted, adjustment of the first, adjustment of the second, adjustment of the third, and finally we can focus on our message. Another very important aspect regarding the approach to mixers, do not forget to carefully read everything that is written. That is, if it is labeled on the mixer, It might seem trivial, but it is actually extremely important and will often help you understand the function. An example that concerns us is what you read here. This is the microphone input and this is the line input. When we said microphone signals are very low and need to be preamplified significantly with the very sensitive microphone preamplifier. Line signals, meaning those from the CD, keyboards, iPhone, iPod are already at line level, which is higher, so they don't need much preamplification. And therefore, we must be careful to connect each correctly and not just plug in the first thing we come across. This is true both in the case of the mixer and in many other cases. See.